Welcome to this episode of OVA Hell. This episode is about the 1979 movie Galaxy Express 39, which features gun violence and a romantic relationship between an adult and an underage character. There are other words for that, which we do use in this episode, but to avoid the platforms from getting too angry at us too early, we will leave it at that for now. Viewer discretion is advised, and we hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to this episode of the OVA Hell podcast. We just watched Galaxy Express 39 or Galaxy Express 999.
It's
they
not
say 39 in the
999.
movie,
It's
but
39.
like it's written 99. Okay, fine, 39.
That's how it's said. Okay, am I going to call it Hunter x Hunter?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's how it's
No!
pronounced. There's an
What
X.
is
That's
wrong
like
with you?
Exactly.
There's an
Yeah.
X there.
Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
Hunter
My
x Hunter.
ex-family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High School DxD? That's not how it's
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
Y'all need Jubas.
Who's saying high school DD? What the fuck is that?
High school double D, I guess you could say.
That's how they pronounce it. In Japan, the X is not pronounced. It's like a time signal.
I don't care. It's High School DxD.
Yeah, well, I'm not Japanese, and they're wrong.
Yeah.
Galaxy Express 999.
No.
Based on the manga by Leiji Matsumoto and directed by Rintaro. What did we all think of the movie? I thought it was fucking great.
It was like 90% good.
I feel like I'm gonna have a controversial opinion.
Yeah, most of it was really good.
I think it was fantastic up until like the last fifth, I would say. The fifth or sixth. The last fifth or sixth was where it started to fall apart. But
Maybe even the last 10.
yeah. And for multiple reasons that we'll get into. But yeah, no, it was... Otherwise, it is a damn fine movie. And this was one of my choices, so if y'all will let me... Yeah.
Yeah, no, go off. Go
Go
off.
off.
You want to...
So, does anyone remember the old piracy websites from yesteryear, from the old 2010s that were taken down and nobody has access to anymore?
Maybe.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Does
probably.
anyone remember Reality Lapse?
No, sorry.
I never used those websites.
It was a random website that was the only one that was not blocked by the school computers to download anime. And I would just browse things randomly. And one point there was Galaxy Express 39, the television series. And I started watching it, and I really enjoyed it. But I then thought, I'm going to watch this with my grandmother. And this is where things start getting a little bit weird. It was a really good show, and we watched it for a while, but I started having a recurring nightmare where my grandmother and I will be watching it while she was in the hospital on her deathbed. And it scared me so
Ooh.
much that I never actually went past the first third. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not watching that with her. And so I haven't really engaged in Galaxy Express 39 until today, watching this movie. And honestly, I don't feel I need to, because this movie kind of feels like a good bit of closure for me. And it's a really, really, really fucking good film. Does someone else want to take the plot, or shall I?
Go for it.
I can... Oh, yeah, no, you go for it.
Okay.
You take the lead here.
In a cyberpunk hellscape dystopia where the ultra-rich cast aside their bodies for fully robotic ones, think of it as going full cyber in cyberpunk, but only the ultra-rich can afford it. And basically, everyone else is living in squalor, and much like Cowboy Bebop, humanity has conquered the stars, but not found any alien life, so they're sort of just there.
I'm not sure about that. There's plenty of alien life in the movie, especially when they
No.
get to the...
They're robot
I
bodies.
I think that's just a cat.
Yeah, that was just a cat.
Well, no, because there's the glass woman and the orb monster on the train.
I think they're modified humans, though.
Okay, the orb monster, I think, is one of the few cases of aliens, but he's never really explained. He's just kind of... And the only way you know that he's an orb monster is if you watch the television series where you see him taking a shower and it's literally just a cloud of gas. Someone tries to assassinate him in the shower and fails miserably because he's not corporeal.
There's also the strange
Yeah.
bird creature that Captain Harlock takes.
That
Oh,
seemed just
yeah.
like a bird. That was just a bird.
There's also the trading planet that they go to, where there's a lot of people who aren't robots and are seemingly not human.
Yeah, there
which,
was like a Cyclops
I
looking
thought
guy.
they were just weirdly. I thought they were just weirdly. Like, I thought they were just fucked up because of radiation.
Oh.
I mean, maybe, but
I thought they were just weird robots.
Yeah, but there's less of an emphasis on aliens, is my point. And yeah, we have the young boy Tetsuro, who he loses his mother and decides he wants to fucking murder the guy that murdered his mother and get a robot body to do so. Shenanigans ensue. He then becomes a messiah for genocide, and
a
then
lot happens.
a lot happens. This is condensing an entire manga slash 75 episode anime into one movie, so there's a lot that happens.
An entire manga that was not finished at the time that the movie
Mhm.
came out, as far as I'm aware, and an entire 75 episode anime series
That also wasn't
that
finished.
was not finished at the time that the movie came out.
I think that's my kind of main problem with it, because I feel like my controversial opinion is I think my hopes were really high because I'd heard it was really good, and I think it was definitely worse than I expected, but I wonder if that would be rectified by the manga or anime, just having more time to explore all those interesting concepts.
Well, I was kind of pleasantly surprised by it because I'd heard that it was cut up and butchered a lot beforehand, but it was actually really well done until the last few minutes, and then it just
Yeah.
kind of falls apart as they keep throwing everything at it. Like, we have to fucking finish this thing. Also, here's incest and pedophilia now. Surprise!
We're back in the fucking building. Also, to be fair, people saying that it was cut up might be specifically referring to the
Roger
original English
Corman,
dub done
yes.
by Roger Corman, who apparently they removed like half an hour of the movie. I don't know how you do that.
They did.
I don't know how you could do that.
Yeah, basically, he did the same thing with the fucking first Godzilla movie. Like, he cut up things, put some random guy called Steve Martin in there as a journalist, no relation to actor Steve Martin, randomly speaking to the camera and providing nothing that you're not seeing on screen already. Like, he is known for doing this a few times, and I don't know why. Like, I do know why, because lack of respect for Japanese media back in the day, but still. This movie is notable in the sense that Toei Animation, who produced this, was having a real slump of animated movies in the cinemas, and they're like, okay, we don't know if this is really going to work, but we'll give it our best shot to try, because Galaxy Express 39, the anime and the manga, is doing gangbusters, so we're going to try this. And it sort of doesn't just exist as a Galaxy Express 39 compilation movie on its own. It's not a compilation, it's a remake, it's an adaptation. It doesn't compile existing scenes. But it's like, okay, this is the base story, but we're also going to tie it to Leiji Matsumoto's other works, because Leiji Matsumoto was a fucking celebrity at the time. Like Space Captain Harlock, Pirate Queen Esmeralda. I mean, most of y'all listening will know him from Interstellar 5555, the Daft Punk Discovery album music video. That's fucking him. That's him. He directed that shit and also did all the character designs and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so, basically, this was pretty much the Avengers Endgame of Leiji Matsumoto stuff, because it's like, here's Captain Harlock and Pirate Queen Esmeralda all coming together to do stuff. I don't know shit about Captain Harlock or Esmeralda, but you can tell it was...
I really want to
reference.
know more about them after
Yeah,
watching that
same.
movie.
Yes.
They are the... Are they the best bit of the movie? I'm not sure if I'd say that, but they are very fun and I like them being here.
Yeah, there was lots of little interesting bits throughout. I definitely think it all came to a conclusion. If it had ended where he kind of got his revenge, I think I'd be happier than where it ended.
I can agree with that. I think that while obviously getting to the end of the train line and all of the stuff that happens at the end of the movie is kind of what's set up at the beginning, I feel like it would have been a stronger narrative if it had ended when he got his revenge, because that kind of like feels like a big climax for the story. It's very much an emotional climax and like an overall climax. And I think that the problem is that by continuing it on to the ending, it kind of feels like the story's already sort of wrapped up, and we're just kind of keeping going for some reason.
Yeah, and it has Metal, who's there, and they kind of need to finish her story because she didn't do anything for like half the movie. So they were like, "All right, let's bring her to the end."
Well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
Well, Leiji Matsumoto, who apparently is not great with women from everything that we were reading on Wikipedia during the recording.
Yeah, he's...
Just to go back to Esmeralda really quick, I really like the line that she said of "you should value your life more."
Hmm.
And then he proceeds to not do that at all.
Yep. I mean, he's basically on a suicide mission.
Yeah, basically.
He doesn't know it at the time, because he's a kid. Like, Tetsuro's not stupid, he's just young and naive. Like, he does
He's 10 or something.
Yeah, he does so surprisingly well for a 10-year-old, so I think we can cut him some slack as far as protagonists go.
I like that his initial motivation is to get a robot body because that's what his mum wanted for him, and then to kill the robot that killed his mum. But I think his transition from kill one robot and become a robot to robot genocide happens in a very interesting way. I don't know if it's necessarily good.
Is it genocide or mass deconversion?
Genocide, I think he kills them all.
Yeah.
He killed a lot of people.
Yeah, and at
mean,
the
he
end, the planet
did.
was made of people so they were all dead because they had souls.
That sounds really weird out of context, because we haven't told how the movie ends or what happens when it gets there.
Yeah.
But,
No, if you're listening to this fucking podcast, you probably shouldn't be, like, afraid of spoilers for this. You should have watched it already. If you
Watch it and then
if
come
you're scared
back.
of spoilers, then yeah, watch it then come back, or don't. You know, if you get spoiled and you're listening to this, it's your own fault.
I'm not your mum. I can't tell you what to watch and what not to watch, but it is. I do think it's ultimately a good movie that is worth watching. It is a visually stunning release.
It is.
It's got
It sounds
some,
incredible.
So
as well.
pretty.
Yeah, it sounds amazing.
Don't go into it for the female character designs. They all look
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, it's like literally, Leiji Matsumoto has one woman design. It's not just in this; it's the same in every project he works
And
on.
it caused a genuine problem because one character looking like another character is relevant, and we could not tell that she was supposed to look similar because every female character looks the same.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
will say, I do think that going back to that jump to genocide, I do think that's a pretty good. If it had been handled slower, that kind of jump could have been a good parallel of him growing up and growing beyond what his mother expected him to be. If it were handled a bit more deftly, but they were working with very little at the start of this. They were flying blind. They, of course, being Rintaro. And I'm pretty sure Leiji himself helped write this, but I could be mistaken.
Yeah, Leiji wrote the movie.
Yeah.
That's why I think it keeps a lot of the themes still pretty
Yeah.
intact. I just think it feels like if we had a lot more time with these characters, it would make a lot more sense, which is true.
But I was like, so he's the reason that there's undertones of pedophilia throughout the whole film.
Yes.
Yeah, who wants to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should just get the Oedipus. We should address the Oedipus in the room.
We should
Yeah.
address the Freud in the room.
Yeah, so there's a woman in the Maytal, who's basically the foil slash femme fatale slash
Parental guardian.
Secondary protagonist.
secondary protagonist slash whatever the fuck. She steals the body of his mother and then escorts him to the planet to basically get forcibly converted into a flesh brick, but made out of metal. Yes, I know that all futures thingo that we mentioned while we were watching it. But what
Yeah.
basically happens is...
But he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know. She's leading him to his death, but she falls in love with him as she goes and basically confesses her love and kisses at the end. Also, there's this really cool character... What really frustrates me is there's this really cool character in the animated series that's, like, made out of glass, and she appears in one episode and then fucking dies. And I'm like, oh, I really would have loved to have seen more of her. In the movie, I'm like, great, she actually survives till the end and then sacrifices herself. Then she turns out that she loved Tetsuro as well. God damn, this guy needs to get into Child Protective Services because he is not safe.
The amount
Forget
of
the-
women who kidnap him or flirt with him or confess their love to him is far more than there should be.
Which is zero. It's zero.
He is 10 years old, canonically.
Yes. Like,
He's 10 years old. He runs into a woman who looks like his mum. he runs away from the police after stealing a ticket to get on the train. He runs into her again, then passes out. She
Wakes
then
up in her bed.
wakes up in her either her bed or her
It was
hotel
the hotel
room.
room, yeah.
I think it's her hotel room. There's 2
Yeah.
beds.
He then opens the door on her while she's showering, and
Forgot about that.
she doesn't panic at this. She just covers herself up and says, "Oh, you're awake." And this is me being, not autistic's too much of a cop out. I couldn't tell if it was pedophilia or like found family,
Until the end.
because it could be like, yeah, it's like, oh, maybe they're just,
Maybe they're just good friends.
maybe they're being set up as like parent and child.
Well, because a lot of it felt like that until like right at the end, where they tried to fit in a romance subplot that just wasn't there, like texturally.
Yeah.
Even before at the end, there's still stuff that's like weird about the dynamic between those two.
Unfortunate.
And like especially since they put as much emphasis as they did on him like blushing around Claire, the woman made of glass.
Mm.
And then before that, the woman made of ice, Shadow, who tries to
kidnap
kill
him.
him so he can stay with her forever.
Yeah, that was weird as well.
Like there's just a lot of allusions to people wanting him as their own.
Yeah.
And they all look like his mum.
They all look like his mum, which is maybe plot relevant, or he can only draw one woman, and I can't tell which is which.
It's that he can only draw one woman. At first, I thought it was, oh, he, really cared about his mum, and so when he sees women, it's like they all look
mother.
like her
Yeah.
because it's like someone to attach to.
I think that's giving it
But
too
no.
much credit.
So apparently, in the movie that we watched, he's supposed to be 15, not 10.
What?
Are you sure? Because I was looking at information on the sequel, which says that that's when he's 15.
Maybe?
Huh.
Does not look like a 15-year-old.
Regardless, he is too... Look, either way, he is too fucking young for this shit.
Mm.
This is where we find out Metal's also 15, and we just have no idea.
She does not look 15. She is bad touch.
She's also a robot, right? So
Yeah.
I am Jotaro Kujo, and I am 16 years old.
Yeah, but Jotaro unironically does look closer to 16 than she does.
You seen The Rock at 16?
yeah, true. He's
I
huge.
haven't.
The
Have you not seen that
hierarchy of the Galaxy Railways is about to change forever. But no, and that is really unfortunate because that really is only the last 10 minutes that it really recontextualizes the whole film. Maybe that's what Roger Corman cut. And if that was...
And then that would be valid.
Yeah. But, you know...
But I mean, even okay, I was getting undertones of it throughout the whole thing. Like every woman he interacts
Yeah.
with outside of the old woman has undertones of being predatory.
Unfortunately.
And I wonder if it's to do with, like, maybe at the time that was pretty standard as, like, you have your male protagonist and then there's lots of women who like the male protagonist. But in this instance, in the way that it was written,
I
it comes
mean-
off really badly.
This was the 70s, was it not?
Yeah.
79.
Yeah. Yeah. This was the same year that Gundam first released, so...
Mm.
Yeah, it was very... I don't know. I don't want to say it's okay, but there was a different historical context, and they probably just didn't think of it that much.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know.
Unfortunately. Because it
Yeah.
really is a small blight. It is a small blight on an otherwise fantastic film, because there's so much else to like here.
I think with Metal in particular, she just didn't have any personality. Like, one thing that I kept thinking throughout the whole thing is that the main character would do something stupid, like try and shoot a pirate ship through the window of the train, and she would go, yeah, go on, and just let him do it. Like, she didn't play a parental
didn't even
role
flinch.
because she didn't do anything. In fact, half the time she'd be like, right, I'm gonna go do something that's a graveyard, you have fun. And then he'd go and get kidnapped or fight someone or do something or kill a guy. She did a few times. But she was really not that relevant. I reckon you could probably have replaced her with a different kind of parental figure, or just not had her at all, and it would have worked just as well.
Probably.
Because the romance didn't do anything, and it definitely felt like it was tacked on at the end. Because they could have made it parental, and that would have been really interesting, considering she is, spoilers, using his mum's DNA, or body? Looks like his mum anyway.
I think it's modelled on
Modelled
her,
after, yeah.
but isn't like exact.
Yeah, I think it's modeled after her.
Yeah, I don't think they really knew at the time how the DNA stuff would work, so they just kind of said, yeah, it's just a copy. It is just a copy based on it. Yeah, a lot of Leiji Matsumoto stuff runs on concepts, not on hard sci-fi stuff, because a lot of that stuff hadn't actually been properly set up in the way media works yet. I'll explain it a little bit, because you were asking how the, whatchamacallit, you were asking whether it's canon to the other Captain Harlock stuff or not, and
Okay.
that
most-
ties into that.
Right.
Interesting
Okay.
bit, though, before you go into that, though, is that one of the big plot points is he's trying to find the guy who killed his mum and, like, took her as a trophy. But that was resolved immediately in the manga and anime, right? So do you want to talk about that bit?
Yes, episode 1. The whole point is that he loses his humanity and then has to regain it as the series goes along.
Yeah, genuinely, in the first chapter of the manga, we see Tetsuo's pet mum get killed. He runs into, or he's saved from like freezing out in the cold by Matel, who is like, hey, I've got a ticket for the Galaxy Express 999. You want to come with me? And then Tetsuo's like, no, I don't want to do that. Or I do want to do that because if I get to the end of that, I'll get a metal body, and that's what I want. I want to become a robot man because then I'll live forever, and all of that.
Which I assume was kind of a desire that most poor kids had at the time as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
Because he had friends that he promptly abandoned.
That slum scene was not in the anime, though. That was movie original, that kind of backstory where he was in the slums.
Yeah, and then meanwhile he goes to the house, I guess. It's not even really a castle in the original. The home of the person that killed his mum, finds her mounted on the wall in about as horrific a way as it is in the anime, and then he kills Count Mecha?
Yeah,
Count
basically.
Mecha, yeah, that
Count
was
Mecha,
it.
yeah.
This is all chapter 1, and then him and Metal go get on the Galaxy Express 999, or 39. Sorry, I keep saying 999 because that's how it's written, and my brain is like, that's how you read it. It's not.
Is it, though? Is it how you read it? Are you sure about
Yes.
that?
Yeah. Listen, 999 is the like emergency service number in the UK. I have grown up my whole life hearing people say, "Oh yeah, just call 999."
Could you imagine if it was like, oh, get the phone, call 39? Huh?
Oh, no,
What?
what the fuck?
Like, this is probably a very specific hang up for me. It's not important. I understand that it's supposed to be read 39. That's just not how I'm doing it because my brain is wired in a very specific way.
Can you imagine if the train ended up being the Galaxy Express 0119999881999119725 3.
The 999 of the train is shown upside down quite a few times, which is interesting. Like more
Galaxy
than once
Express
you see it as like
666.
666, yeah.
Probably intentional.
Especially like in the last scene where like they're on the train, that it reveals Mattel's like betraying him. It is like so overtly 666.
It's got to be a Rintaro thing.
He wouldn't have had to be betrayed if she'd told him anything at any point or spoken to him more than 2 times.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
got to be something. I mean, Rintaro has to have done something similar with that kind of imagery in another film. He has to have. He has to have at some point.
We're almost certainly going to hit more Rintaro later down the line with this podcast, so I'm sure we'll find out soon, because Rintaro, just to kind of go off on it a little, very prolific. He did the 1964 Astro Boy
Oh,
movie.
is that what he did? Okay.
He directed
Ooh.
that. Yeah, that was what he did
Wow.
before Galaxy Express 39.
Nice.
Then he did the 2 Galaxy Express 39 movies. He did some OVAs, which again, just to get it out of the way, I know we're a little way into we're about halfway into the podcast. Yes, technically speaking, this is not an OVA, it's a movie, but like, shh, don't worry about
It's
it.
the
Don't
second
worry.
movie we've covered.
Don't worry
Even the
about it.
April Fool's one was technically an OVA.
It was, yeah.
It was
Although
he
The
also-
Christmas Carol released on VHS.
I don't. You're still evil for that. You are still evil for that. I
It
don't
was
care.
so
It
good
was
though.
good. I
It
liked
was
it.
good.
Okay.
And of course, also he famously did the 2001 version of Metropolis, which we are almost certainly going to get to eventually.
Yes, I missed that in
Yeah.
cinemas. I missed the anniversary showing in cinemas of that, and I keep kicking myself for it. It's like, come on.
Mm,
It's because I was working on the day and I couldn't get anyone else to come with me because no one else wanted to see it. And at that point, I wasn't dating my significant other, so I couldn't ask them to do it.
Rintaro is he's a name that like is he's very prolific, but your average person hasn't necessarily heard of him in the same way that like your average anime fan has probably heard of Hayao Miyazaki or Satoshi Kon.
Yeah.
I think it's
Um,
because he got his start, and also most of his work was kind of pre a lot of anime fans, or it's before they wouldn't want to go back that far. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like he started in
Yeah.
the 50s, and then he kind of stopped making stuff before the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he kind of trails off around the 2000s. He's had some stuff in more recent years. He made a short film in 2023. He directed a short film in
Ooh.
2023. Yeah,
That's
really
cool. That's cool.
Considering
But
he's in his 80s, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
he's still kicking.
It's
still
funny
going.
that you bring up. I know you brought up. What was this? Sorry, you brought up this anime like literally 2 seconds ago, and it's just fallen out of my brain.
Metropolis.
Metropolis 2001. Yes, it's
Yeah.
funny that you bring up Metropolis 2001 because that's also a connection with the animation director Yoshinori Kanada, which, if you don't mind, he has done so fucking much. He has done most of the he has been a key animator and a character designer on most of the original Ghibli films. He was a key animator on Akira. He has worked on a shit ton of Gundam. He's worked on Sailor Moon. There's your Sailor Moon connection. He did
It's been a while.
Metropolis. He did the Final Fantasy OVA and the layout art of Final Fantasy Spirits Within. That movie.
Mm.
He has done Devilman, tons of Devilman, Vampire Hunter, Clamps work, Cyborg 009. What else?
Oh
is-
shit,
what
Ishinomori
else-
connection.
Yeah, there was something else here that I wrote down. Where was it?
Actually, I think that's the first Ishinomori connection we've come across.
Get a Robo, yeah, get a Robo as well. Get a Robo as well.
I just remembered one important Rintaro fact. He was the co-founder of Madhouse. I feel like that one is
Yes.
important.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool.
Which
Um,
is cool because Madhouse do like the good shit.
Mm.
Can I rattle off some
Historically.
of the other stuff? Because there's some really cool connections as well with the voice
Sure,
cast.
go for it.
Sure.
So, you may notice that throughout the watch party, I made several references to Dragon Ball. That's because Tetsuro is voiced by Noriko Ohara. Now, who realizes what that name is? Oh, am I getting
that
confused?
Goku?
No, sorry, no, I'm getting confused. No, I'm getting confused. I'm getting the names mixed up. No, Tetsuro's voiced by Masako Nozawa. And she started off with a few pretty decent roles in the time. Some Baki here, some Pokemon roles there. And then she suddenly took on a role in a very small series called Dragon Ball as Son Goku.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
she just
cool.
kept banking on that. So yeah, whenever I made a joke about Tetsuro doing Dragon Ball related things, it's because same voice actor.
Do you know how
Furthermore-
old Masao Nozawa is?
Old.
89 years
She's
old.
89 and she's still active, apparently, as a voice actor.
She's
Yeah.
still doing Goku's voice, which I
Yep.
understand is a bit of a sticking point for Dragon Ball fans. It's kind of why the English cast is a little more popular when it comes to Dragon Ball fans. Cause...
Really?
In the West,
Yeah,
in Japan, there would be
West,
no
yeah.
There would be no chance of that happening in Japan. In Japan, recasting a voice actor like that would be considered very poor form.
It was pretty huge when they recast Frankie in One Piece.
It was pretty huge when they recast the Lupin voice actors, and it caused a lot of tension, which is actually something that ties into another voice actor in this anime.
Oh, Lupin connection?
Yeah, Captain Harlock is voiced by Makio Inoue, who was the longest-running voice actor for Goemon in Lupin. I'm pretty sure he was the one in Alcatraz Connection specifically, but I could be mistaken. I'm pretty sure that he voiced Goemon all the way up until the big recast in Blood Seal Eternal Mermaid, which I think is a really underrated Lupin OVA that we will not be watching on this podcast because it is 2011. And that is no.
I thought you were going to say it was 2,000 episodes
But no.
long for a second there.
There was... Okay, so Noriko Ohara, who I mentioned earlier, I fucked up because I had multiple tabs open to say this. Noriko Ohara, she was... So, do you know that guitar player on that planet randomly that they see?
Yes.
She is called Mime. That is the character's name. And Noriko Ohara is the narrator in...
My good meme.
Is the narrator...
Sorry, go on.
Is the narrator in Nichijou.
Oh!
Wow.
Peak anime, great anime, love that show.
I don't remember the narrator in Nichijou.
Yeah, because she was just kind of there. She passed away in 2024, so... Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of the voice actors in this film have passed away because
Fair,
it's
it's
been a
from
fucking...
Yeah, it's from
It was
70s.
from 79.
Yes, it was. This is the year that Gundam started, you know, airing. I.e. the biggest Fujoshi series on the planet.
Gundam supported by its Fujoshi fanbase forever.
And also its lesbian fan base.
Fujoshi's are the backbone of every fandom. It's important.
Fujoshis are the backbone of every fandom, but they are very specifically the backbone of Gundam.
Yes.
As good as this film was, the issue TM has really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I just it ruined it for me personally. And as prolific as the guy is, I don't know if I want to see more of his stuff just because of that.
What, Leiji
Yeah.
Matsumoto?
Fair.
Yeah.
It's to me, it reminds me a lot of Appleseed, where it's like this is really good by someone who is really good, but this specific adaptation is weak, especially towards the end. It kind of, as an opposite reaction, I'm intrigued to watch more of his stuff or read some more of his stuff.
Like, is this like a theme that pops up, or is this just like one
don't
weird case?
I think it's just one weird case in the movie because those undertones were not a thing in the regular anime adaptation. I think it was more so they needed to cram things into a movie and appeal to as many people as possible, so they threw it in there. I could be mistaken, I could be talking out of my ass, but that is the feeling that I get.
Yeah, see, it definitely feels like that because
It was
Like,
like
the manga-
so tacked on.
yeah, and the manga and anime weren't over at this point, so they didn't have an ending. So I reckon it was just there is romance in movies. We will put a romance in the movie. And I don't think it didn't feel like it was
You
part of the
know, all
narrative.
the good classic movies end with a kiss, sort of thing.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
reminded me specifically of the end of what's the giant robot western movie?
Iron Giant,
No, the live action one.
Real Steel.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim. You know where they don't kiss at the end, and that was a nice
Yeah,
surprise.
It was like a fake
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
I think even when that came out, it was still so common that there would be some kind of romantic moment at the end of the movie. So I feel like that's what this is.
Yeah, but Pacific Rim is the coolest movie ever made, so, you know.
And I'm
is.
so glad. It's a shame it never got a sequel. Well, I
Yeah,
guess
I
it got
know.
Pacific Rim Black, that series, but other than that, yeah.
I actually quite liked the sequel to Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
hate Uprising. It's not good. but
Also,
it's
they
not
leaned
the
into the
worst.
gay undertones more. Yeah,
Mm,
I haven't seen it.
between the two scientists.
yeah. Between Charlie Day and, what's the name?
Owen from
Owen.
Torchwood.
Owen from Torchwood.
Really,
can't
I want to
remember
see
the
that
actor's name.
dynamic. Hello, wait, we should watch that movie.
That guy is in The Expanse, and he plays such an asshole. Like, oh god, I hated his character in The Expanse. He did it so well. Like, he's just big space racist.
I just really want John Boyega to be in a movie that's good, that's not Attack the Block, which is great. You should watch Attack the
I
Block.
was gonna say, what about Attack the Block?
Attack the Block.
Attack the Block's great, but
It's
it's
good.
like that is the one movie that John Boyega is in which I can genuinely say is good, which sucks because he's a good actor and he deserves more work. And,
Yeah,
that's
unfortunate.
I haven't seen Attack the Block.
It's so good.
But something I can comment on is that the monsters are a wood.
Juniper moments. Juniper moments.
I'm really glad none of my friends or family watch this.
Anyway, Galaxy Express 39.
Gunsmith cats. I was wondering when we do a gunsmith cats joke in this episode. I was waiting for it.
But it predates it. How could we? Oh, I can give you a tie. So, the original story well, I say original, it's loosely based on a work by Kenji Miyazawa, who was a very prolific writer in like the 1920s, 1930s. Specifically, his novel Night on the Galactic Railroad.
I did read that, yeah.
Yeah, which has it's a very similar sort of thing. Like, they get on the train, go to places, stuff happens. However, in the book, it's like purely the dreams of a child. But it got a manga adaptation, and in the manga, which was like in the 1980s, they turned them into cats for some reason, which also means the anime adaptation has the children be cats. It's also somehow grimmer than the actual plot of Galaxy Express 999.
So, you're telling me that it's grimmer with guns, and they are cats?
Yes.
Yep.
You see the
There's
thing
your
there?
tie-in.
Yeah, you see the thing. By the way, speaking of tie-ins and other things, y'all were asking as we were watching if it was canon to the other forms of Captain Harlock and the other things. The way that Leiji Matsumoto talks about it, and I've only read this secondhand, I haven't actually read this firsthand from him. Apparently, all of these Galaxy Railway shows and things and space pirates and stuff do exist in the same multiverse, and they interact with each other through the fourth dimensional drives that get used in the railways and everything. So at the end of the movie, when Maytal says, "I'll see you again, but you won't recognize me, we'll be two completely different people," that's what that's referring to. It's referring to the fact that every version of Galaxy Express 39 is slightly different, but all equally canon, including stuff like the remakes and spin-offs and alternate universe versions like Galaxy Railways from the 2000s.
Oh, that's fun.
Stuff like
I
that.
Like that a lot.
It's basically like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where
I was about to say Hitchhikers.
yeah, where every version of the story is canon in its own way. But the thing is, because it's very similar to the original novel of that Aboard the Galaxy Railway thing, the whole thing is that time and canon and things all kind of run on dream logic. So it's repeating themes over and over again, but like canon is not something that's really a thing. And I reckon if they were to do it more modern, they would have a very different writing style. Of course, Leiji Matsumoto is dead, so that's not going to happen. Because, yeah, Galaxy Express never even took off outside of Japan anyway. Like, Captain Harlock did, but Galaxy Express, despite being the most popular series of his in Japan, never found an audience.
I always find that really interesting. Like, the things that become the most popular in Japan aren't the things that become most popular outside of Japan.
Anyway, what was Juniper going to say?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
sorry.
Juniper was about to say something.
I was going to say that the multiverse thing explains the multiversal tunnel between the planets that they go through that turns the lights off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, correct, yeah.
Sorry, if just circling back to the whole it never got popular outside of Japan thing, part of that is due, I believe, to this general wisdom in America specifically that American people don't care about trains in the way that Japan does. Which is true. But it's,
Interesting.
okay, so there is a very popular, beloved season of Super Sentai, which is Tokyuja. It is the fandom's favorite season. It is obscenely popular in Japan. It keeps coming back over and over again. It was specifically skipped over for adaptation in Power Rangers because it's about trains.
Yep.
And the American people who ran Power Rangers at the time were like, American kids don't relate to trains. And obviously this is a single anecdote, but it is something that I have seen repeated over and over again. American kids don't care about trains. We're not going to import anything to do with trains.
Maybe they shouldn't have destroyed their train network then.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit because, you know, kids might not care about trains, which I disagree with. They do. They love Thomas the Tank Engine. But also, you're missing out on the autistic demographic. Like,
Yep.
come on, we love trains. That's the one thing.
It's the thing.
The thing is, I've run into a lot of this anger as well. Like, whenever I brought up, like, because I do my Transformers reviews, and I did a review on G1 Raiden, who is a train combiner. 6 trains that combine into one giant robot. One of the best fucking G1 toys ever, and the fact it's never been reissued and still costs a couple of grand on the aftermarket gives me great pain. But I kind of said, well, it's a better combiner than Devastator in every conceivable way, but the fact it's a train means they were never going to sell it in, you know, America. And then people just got really pissed off at that and kept bringing up Thomas and other things like that. And it's like, come on, like, it's obvious.
It's also kind of like Thomas the Tank Engine is very established and also aimed younger.
Yeah, no point selling anything to children.
It's also notable that Thomas the Tank Engine is, of course, a British property
Yeah.
where we have about a similar obsession with trains as Japan does.
Yeah.
Trains are really cool.
Most countries have obsessions with trains. It's just not America.
'cause
Like,
you can't
have you
see 'em.
seen have you seen the Tangara fan pages on Instagram?
I have not
No.
because I don't use Instagram, but
There are fan pages for our regular ass train lines, for our trains from the 90s that have not been upgraded and are getting really fucking old. And people are making anime edits of them about how much they love them in a shoujo ass manga way. It is just beautiful and terrifying.
I think it's always really frustrating when it's like, oh, there's no point translating this thing because they won't like it. And it's like, there are many countries that speak English outside of America. But if they don't think it's worth being translated for like an American audience, they just won't do it at all. And we don't get it either.
Xenoblade moment. Xenoblade
Yeah.
moment.
again, just I think that might be why Thomas did manage to cross over, because they didn't need to translate it. It
It was
was in
already in
English
English.
anyway.
Anyway, Galaxy Express 39.
We were on Galaxy Express.
I don't know what that movie is.
It had a really, like, good sense of symbolism, I'd say.
Yeah?
Yeah, like, there was a lot of kind of repeating visual motifs. Like, the cross you see at the end is also the same one when we first watched the train take flight.
I
It, like,
missed that.
returns and ends to the same point in the sky. The kind of, like, you know, saying it's on Dream Logic, they had, like, this Dream Reader thing that's kind of represented as a little squiggle, and that's the same shape as the train as it flies into the sky, so you've got that kind of tie there for it being sort of, like, fantastical and outside of common, I guess, like, sense.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I think it had such a sense of place with the music, and each planet felt very different and distinct. That was really cool.
Speaking of the music, when he when I'm terrible with names tonight. When the kid gets on the train,
Tetsuo.
Tetsuro.
thank you.
Tetsuro with an R.
When Tetsuro gets on the train,
Did you just call it Tetto?
Tetsuro, oh god,
Close
I'm
enough.
speaking too quick.
Little Tet.
Teto word of the day. Train.
Trains.
Choo choo, motherfucker!
But when he gets on the train, I'm speaking too fast. That's part of my problem.
Take your time.
A song starts playing, and I immediately kicked into flight mode because I got flashbacks to Twinkle Nora Rock Me and Cypher the Video, and I thought we were gonna be there.
Oh no. No, this film does have a lot of limited animation. I'm guessing because Toei was a bit concerned after their financial flops of the several years prior. But the animation they do have does look gorgeous, especially those last 10 minutes. They put all their budget into the last 10 minutes with explosions, with the giant planet full of people dying, the genocide. But the background art was gorgeous. The soundtrack was delightful. Like, they knew what the resources they'd have, and they put their best work into those resources.
The whole Toasi.
No.
Hoto was
What?
Yeah, I think it was good for what it was. I don't think I definitely want to watch the series or read the manga because I want to see more of the world. I think it's really interesting.
Well,
but I definitely
This
think
film
overall it was.
This film
I
is
guess-
great, but again, it's just the stain.
Yeah.
I can't look past that. It ruined the whole thing for me.
I hope
That is
you're
fair.
not that desperate to read the manga because it's not currently available officially in English.
Oh no.
Oh
no.
Will we get
Anyway.
round this?
How will we get around it? How did I manage to read 2 chapters? And I really fucking enjoyed the manga of it that I read. It was only 2 chapters, but they were 2 really good chapters. But I'm just bringing it up to say, like, hey, you know, there's a bunch of really important and, like, beloved manga that's just not available. And every time I get a little bit more angry at everyone that has the ability to translate this stuff and put it out physically that don't. It's right there, guys. Like, just someone do it.
Someone with money, please.
Someone with money, or like a small press that can afford to license it. Just someone, please.
It might be difficult because it's such a big thing tied to Toei Animation, and it's like a big property in Japan, so they probably ask for big money for it.
I mean,
If I'd
Viz,
have to hazard a guess.
Viz have the rights to one of the sequel mangas, which they have done. They've just not done the original.
Why?
Or a remake manga that they did. I know that Viz has some level of licensing to it. They've just not done the original for some reason.
That's interesting.
It's Viz. We probably shouldn't be surprised.
Huh, apparently the TV anime got re-released in 2019 to 2020.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
In Japan.
No,
Hey.
in England.
Oh,
like
really?
in English.
Hey,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got quite a few like reprints and different versions.
And how
So
much is a box set?
Don't think about
£400?
that. But like,
like
yeah, like the
trains.
English dub was part of that as well. Like, it's actually been
Huh.
kind of considerably kept throughout the years. Like,
Interesting.
there was a version in 2009, 2012, 1996. It got a dub.
Was the more recent one redubbed?
Ah,
Probably. I know that the original Roger Corman release of this movie renamed a number of characters and changed
Yeah,
things, which is
Captain
like.
Warlock.
that was one of my biggest issues with the first Mamo dub, the Mystery of Mamo Lupin III, because they kept changing everyone's name. Fujiko's called Marco. What the fuck do you mean
Marco?
Fujiko's
Why?
called Marco? I
they
don't
want to keep
know.
the code.
Maybe.
Lupin gets referred to as Wolf a lot in
Wolf,
old
yes.
dubs
That one at
or
least
old
makes
translations.
Yeah.
It seems like it was just one of the specials that got the dub. It doesn't say redone it. The specific phrasing is restored,
Okay.
but most of the time it is the subtitled version that gets re-released. Also, presumably, then the one without the half-hour edit
Yeah.
for the movie.
I wonder if the half-hour edit's still out there somewhere, if it's still accessible, because although it's probably an inferior version, unless they deliberately remove those scenes,
Yeah.
it's still, lost media.
It's a
is not good.
curiosity. Yeah. We also can't be too harsh on Roger Well, we can be harsh on Roger Corman with this. But also, like, the dude is very prolific in Hollywood. He helped to, like, raise up a lot of directors under him. So I can't stay too mad at the guy for butchering Galaxy Express. Because without him, we probably wouldn't have got the works of, like, Joe Dante, director of Small Soldiers.
That's a very
Yeah.
specific choice.
We should watch Small Soldiers.
Joe Dante, director of Small Soldiers and Gremlins.
Oh, he likes little things.
Yeah.
Just little guys.
Who doesn't like little things?
Look,
I think Maytel likes little things a bit too much.
Oh god. Yeah, everyone groaned at that scene at the end.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, it's because
I didn't groan. I screamed in horror.
like the whole time like for the last fifth, it just kept alluding to their love, and we were like, come on, don't do it, and then they did kiss, and we were like, oh, come on.
It's like the
No.
reverse. It's like the reverse of Dragonheart, where Dragonheart actually goes through with the thing at the end you're not expecting them to do, and it's like, oh, that's actually really funny. This is like the opposite, where they actually go through the thing at the end, and it's just horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said a couple times, and I wrote down in my notes, I need a cattle prod for these women.
Yes, yes.
Because it's
I
Every time they get
realized-
close to him, just bzz.
I just realized
Step
I haven't
away
gone
from the
over my.
boy.
I haven't gone over any of my notes at all in this thing. I've just been talking about everything else. The music on the planet is suddenly Greek, and I've written here Tikanis motherfucker for some reason. I've written long cats. That's just so
Oh,
funny.
the
Oh, the
long
long
cat.
cat.
Long
I
cat.
loved the long cat. It made no sense and it didn't need to be there, but it was so good.
I think we should have more long cat and less ending.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just like censor it with the long cat.
Yes. I've written everyone is Maytal, which is self-explanatory. Space Lupus, which I guess is self-explanatory.
Oh, there's a guy who was
Evil-
sick. I don't know if we talked about him.
Yes.
We haven't talked
yes.
about him. He's
Puffed up
sick.
blood.
He gets uploaded into the mainframe of his girlfriend's computer.
No, it was Harlock's computer. So it was his boyfriend's computer.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, because he went to Harlock's ship, but not his.
You're the one who's
Love
liking
ship.
all the boys love stuff, and you couldn't even realize that. For sure.
I'm a fake Fujoshi.
But no, I think that's supposed to be a reference to Captain Harlock, right?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
That specific character.
Yeah, that character is.
Actually, I feel like it could have done with maybe a few less references. Because it felt like you were supposed to have watched those to like fully get that, and maybe we
Yeah.
should have had more time talking about the characters we did get.
This was very much the end game of the Leiji Matsumoto universe. This is like, hey, if you like Leiji Matsumoto stuff, go watch this movie.
We've got it all. We've got Captain Harlock, which, yeah, as I was saying, I kind of really want to know more about Captain Harlock now. This movie got me interested in the guy. He's a cool guy. He's a cool pirate man with a cool scar.
He's a cool guy. He killed a robot with milk.
Yeah, I forgot about the milk.
Captain Harlock shows up. Captain Harlock shows up. Everybody please clap. Nobody claps because it's Japan.
Does Japan not like Captain Harlock?
No, they just don't clap.
Yeah, you don't clap. in this.
Oh, yeah.
No, they
That's a-
love Captain Harlock.
But in the scene directly after the long cat, I've got written down man with his feet on the table, Final Fantasy wizard. Because there's a guy who looks like the classic wizard from Final Fantasy,
Black
mean
just
the
with his
conductor?
huge dogs on
You
the
mean the-
table.
Do you mean, okay. The conductor is looks very
No.
much like that.
He look, yeah, he looks like a Tonberry.
Tonberry, yes.
Honestly,
But-
I love the conductor. The conductor is my Skrunkly. I've cosplayed as the conductor, and I will give Quartz the footage because I have it backed up on my episode hard
I was
drive.
about to say, I'm going to need that for the episode if you have it.
I do have it, and I will send it. And in fact, it's still online, unfortunately, because I'm too scared to take it offline.
Oh, God.
What else do I have?
By the way, if you're
Um,
listening to this on anything other than YouTube, know that you're missing out on amazing video editing skills. That's
Oh,
not true. You
no.
are probably getting a better experience if you're listening on any other platform. But yeah, we have a YouTube version. You should check out the YouTube version.
Ooh.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Doc,
but-
you mentioning the conductor reminded me that in the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog,
What?
the conductor has a one.
What?
that game exists, and two, the conductor has a really hot wife.
Does the conductor from Murder of Sonic is he based on the conductor from Galaxy Express 39? Because I'm just thinking about it, like
I don't know,
he's
but
got he's got that black
he's
void
similar.
face. He's very similar.
I don't know.
I can see it.
I don't know. But no,
He might be. I wouldn't put it past the people that make it to do it.
the conductor is like one of the best characters in the show. There's this scene in the show, they end up on Esmeralda's planet, and instead of her just kind of showing up, and they kind of get kidnapped and put on a train, and then he just starts saying, next stop, oh right, we're actually kidnapped. I was doing that out of habit. Sorry about that. And he's just so cute. He's just so
That is fun.
autistic and cute. Oh yeah, yeah, I probably said it earlier, but yeah, that sparkly glass girl died in like a single episode in the anime, and I always wanted to see her back, so I'm glad to see her back, even if her being back was under the pretense of a forced love interest, which, whatever.
Ew.
Is Esmeralda meant to be like a clone of Captain Harlock? Or are they meant to be like related in some way?
I don't know. She's
I'm
just
looking at two images
there.
of them side by side, and they have the scar in the exact same place.
Yeah, every tough guy character has the same scar in the same spot.
Anyone got 234 pounds spare?
For
That's an oddly specific amount of money.
Kind of, actually, right this second, yes.
You could own Galaxy Express 999 English dubbed version.
That is
Yippee.
the signature version, which is the Viz version, which is not the cut down version.
Oh, okay.
So did they like redo the rest of the dub?
I don't know, maybe?
Well, then I guess we're not watching that one because that's not cut down and it's got all the scenes, which I know some people here are not going to like.
Yeah, you think they cut the kiss out at the end?
Hi, I'm some people.
I desperately want to find it so I can tell.
Why was it in there?
It was in there because they wanted this to be as popular as possible with as many people as possible, so they forced a love interest scene in there as
That's
much as
I
possible.
think, yeah.
That's what I
And that's the
genuinely think
idea.
as well. I don't think this is something that Leiji Matsumoto... I could be mistaken. And if this podcast was more popular, I know someone would probably correct us, but I don't know.
Hey, don't worry. You won't get told off in the comment section. Or you might. There's a solid chance you might be. Or you read the manga or finish the show and turn out it is like that. Which...
I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong so desperately. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt because he's done so much and it's all really cool. I just want to be proven wrong.
I did skim the Wikipedia summary for the sequel and some of the other versions. Not too drastically, because I do want to read them and I don't want to be spoiled. But it does seem like, while there's similarities between all of the different versions, they are different in how they go about the execution of mainly like what was the climax of the movie, the big
Yeah.
the robot planet.
We haven't even talked about the planet that turns you into parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers, there's a planet that turns you into a robot parts, and then you become a part of the planet. That is what happens in this movie.
Like they were going to turn the main kid into a bolt.
Mm.
The entire planet's made up of sentient building materials.
It seems very inefficient.
Could you not just make like a non-sentient bolt? Why does it have to be alive?
No, but they need its spirit.
Yeah, the bolts hold on harder.
It needs to be super strong.
It needs to be super strong, yeah, and then one virus thing that they threw on the ground destroyed everything instantly. Yeah, real
Yeah,
strong, idiots.
The ending does kind of go to shit in terms of pacing as well, just on that, because like it's kind of set up at the beginning that she's talking to someone and that something else is going on, and then it's just not there for most of the movie. And then right at the end, we get the reveal of like, oh yeah, her Maytel's
wasn't it?
dad is in this brooch, and if she throws it at the core of the planet, then the Death Star will blow up. But like it's very not set up. It is kind of thing of like, I feel like the movie should end after he defeats Count Mecha.
Yeah.
And maybe you do the rest as a sequel or something. It's just that was a big climax for the
Well,
story.
they did a sequel to
That's-
this. They did a sequel
Yeah.
to this, and apparently Tetsuro is supposed to be the conductor now? I don't know.
Huh?
That's pretty cool. That's true.
I don't know.
I don't know. I like the Galaxy Express 39. It's a cool train.
It's a very nice train, and it's based on a real train under Japan Railways as well.
That's very nice.
Trains are cool.
No, train go on top of railways, not under.
But Toy Hacks Repro Labels keeps making conversion sets for G1 Astro trains because they are also big fans of Galaxy Express 39, and I think that's pretty cool. Like they have like stickers for the Galaxy Shuttle set that turns him into the Galaxy Express 39. And yes, I have fucking added them. Of course I have.
Okay, June, you'll be glad to know from a quick skim, there is nothing even remotely like a relationship in that regard in the manga.
Oh, thank fuck. Why did he put it in the movie?
It's just the...
Do we
it's gotta
blame
be-
Rintaro for this one?
Maybe we do. What else?
I blame
Maybe
Toei.
Rintaro-
I blame Toei. I blame Toei for that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be funnier if I continue to blame Rintaro. Rintaro, you pervert.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get Matt into more
No, he does
Rintaro
not get the
stuff
title
soon.
of pervert.
Yeah. Although it does seem like in the manga they do blow up a planet, which is interesting considering this ending would have happened after the movie came out.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he just used like an early draft of it, of what he thought the ending
Maybe.
was going to be like. I mean, there's been worse. I mean, the ending. I've seen the live action Attack on Titan films. The ending in that was rough. It turns out it was. Can I spoil the ending of the live action Attack on Titan films?
Yeah,
No
go
one's gonna
for
watch
it.
the live action
No, it's
Attack on
fine.
Titan. Go for it.
It turns out the plot twist is it was modern day Earth all along, and there's just an entire ruined civilization and tanks and things outside the walls.
Isn't that the actual plot in the manga?
No, the actual plot in the manga is not quite that. A bit different.
Because aren't they on Madagascar? Is part of it.
No, this one was like literally it's modern day Japan.
Oh, okay.
Okay, this is a little bit different, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm talking modern. Like in Attack on Titan, I don't think they have like modern tanks and fighter jets and the Japanese Prime Minister and stuff. I don't think they have those.
Can you imagine? So anyway,
And-
out of 10? What do you think
Yeah,
of
right.
Galaxy
What
Express?
did we think of this? Was it good? Did you like this movie? Yes, I
I
did. I think it was
did.
great. It has issues. God,
Yeah.
does it have issues? But like, frankly, it's just a good time. This comes
Yeah, this was
highly
great.
recommended.
If it didn't have the
Yeah.
pedophilia, it is still an amazing movie. But like,
I mean, it is
Ugh.
icky, but like I have seen way, way, way worse in anime before. I saw the Made in Abyss movie in theaters.
Oh,
oh,
I'll edit Galaxy Express 999 to have that last scene be something else and send it to you.
thank
Grinch
you.
waking up.
Grinch waking up and then going back to sleep, and then
Yeah.
somehow gunsmith cats are there.
Yeah, sure, that works.
But no, I really liked this one, and I don't think I'm going to go back to watch the original series for obvious personal reasons, even if it's completely absurd.
I,
I
think
just-
you're fine.
It's a valid reason.
I was a kid when that happened, but I just kind of part of it just feels wrong, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm good.
That is a very good description of the movie. Someone get this child and adult. No, not that one.
Oh. Anyway.
This is what happens if you don't have a father figure in your life.
The women just come for you.
I don't think he had a mother figure either.
Yeah, she died.
I thought that's how you got trans woman.
I wish I didn't have a father figure in my life.
Savage. But overall, everyone should watch Space Dandy. There is an episode that is basically Galaxy Express 999, and it's way better. Not way better, but I think it executes on the relationship between the child and adult.
Rick and Morty parodied this as well. Doctor Who stole this idea, or at least homaged it. Mummy on the
I think-
Orient Express is a homage to this.
If I had to guess, are you sure it's not an homage to Murder on the Orient Express by
Yeah,
Agatha
It
Christie?
is that, but it's
I
a
feel like that
fucking
might
train
be.
in the space. It's a fucking
You know, I
train
think
in
you're onto
space.
something.
It's a fucking train in space.
I mean, he didn't even make it up for Galaxy Express 999.
At least no one has ever unnecessarily added an action sequence to a Galaxy Express 999 adaptation. The same thing cannot be said for Murder on the Orient Express.
The only, honestly, the only Poirot stuff I engage with is the David Suchet things. I haven't seen the, what, I forget the guy. I don't even know the director's name, and I don't care.
I remember watching that movie in cinema.
So we just got a comment on the 12 OVAs.
Yeah.
It is literally just, have you guys seen Ben 10?
Wow, what a wild ride. Thank you for listening to this episode of OVA Hell. This show is only made possible by the support of listeners, so please like, subscribe, comment, whatever to boost the show. It's more helpful than you would believe. Shout out to our co-hosts, DrLockdown and MerriKiwi. You can find all of their links in the description of this podcast. Once again, we thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.